started working in Ghana, right? Almost immediately after. I actually got my first job before I graduated. So I started working in Ghana and started doing, I mean, at the time it was fun. Then COVID hit, and you know how COVID makes you feel like if you're away from home, people will die and you won't be there for them and kind of thing. So I needed to move back home almost immediately. Then borders closed, so I can't move. I stayed in Ghana for quite a bit. Then I quit my job. But immediately after I quit that first job, I got another job to work on working for a US company. A company in the US, so which was so fun. It was nice while it lasted, but it was a short contract of like 6 months. Then I moved back to Nairobi, and I'm here now trying to figure out. You remember I left the country at 18, so you're moving back. People have moved down, the friends, imagine now, for those who finished high school last year, you have friends that you're still in touch with them. But then you grow up, you move countries, people have moved campuses to different places. Now you come back, 5 years later, obviously, you're starting from scratch, even socially, right? Now, even job-wise, you're starting from scratch again. A bit of a challenge at first, but then it got to a point where I was just looking for any job now to start, because I needed to, I'm used to a different kind of market, now I need to move to a Kenyan market and figure out how things will go. So I get a job at GT Bank, but also GT Bank is headquartered in Nigeria. So it's super relatable because, I mean, West Africa is super relatable to me. Yeah, it was fun. It was nice working on payment integrations, working on payment, on banking applications, like building real software for real clients, dealing with real money. And I mean, there was a time when I was working there, I'd gone to Shanks. For those who know Kambani is a bit far from Nairobi. So it was a bit far, right? Yeah, so I'm on my way to up country. Then I get a call from my boss. Hey, there's a system that you didn't start. And like I've already passed my chakos, I need to turn back, come back and restart the system. I mean, real life issues, and I mean, at some point I almost paid money, you guys. I almost paid money because some customers are transacting and I had not started the system. So when you work with several systems like payment integration, you still have maybe a part where the client or the customer interacts with, and there's a part, I'm sorry, I'm doing jargons, but see, this is what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a part where the customers interact with the system, make the payment, and then there's back-end side where they get debited and it gets credited to a different, where they were sending the money, right? So I'd made changes to the customer side, the client side of the application, which was working perfectly. The only difference is I didn't start the part where it actually credits the customer. So I've done everything, I deployed and I didn't start the system. So we have customers transacting thousands of money, and I'm outside. I'm outside Nairobi, so I have to come back and start everything. But by that time, like customers are already, now imagine you're in a supermarket, you need to make a transaction, you've been debited and the supermarket has been credited. You didn't have any other money. So you can imagine it's a real issue. So such issues we're dealing with at the time. Very nice, but hey, time waste time before I talk badly about their people. If you watch Nigerians before, you know they can shout. They can shout, whether you're in good terms or not. Even when something is not as bad, you realize that, like the tone of the voice will scare you to some extent. So those are some of the real world issues I might face at some point. I mean, I enjoyed that job because of the actual experience I was getting at the time. But then, the company, I had already started consulting for another company in the US at the time. Then get to a point I'm like, yeah, the money on this side hustle is looking good. So why don't I quit and do my own and do my own thing? So I think I got COVID. So I knew at some point I would quit this corporate thing. It doesn't look like the growth is looking good, but I've always been very, very ambitious. So I've always wanted, I knew I wanted to study out of my town. I knew how I wanted to get a high school outside Nairobi or within Nairobi. I knew I wanted to study outside, like I've always been that kind of ambitious person. But then when I got COVID I got COVID for 6 weeks. That's over a month. So it means you can't go to work every day. So during that time, I mean the first 2 weeks, I thought I was going to die, so I replied to it. But now after the 2 weeks, I got better. So that was when I started being serious about freelancing. So I started freelancing very well. Paid me some good juice. I mean the first $3,000 I made was from that side gig. Like bulk money I've gotten. I'm even sick, I have COVID, but I have that money. Hey. I was like, proof of concept, I need to quit this job. Then
how long was that?
How long was that?
Yeah, the
4 weeks.
3,000.
Yes, 3,000 proof of concept. I'm like, why should I stay at this job? I'm already making good money. So I started planning my exit plan. Then I quit. It was December. I was like, I've already finished 1 year at this bank. Let me quit, and I already have a strategy on how I need to start my thing. Started my own website, small website. I need to. This is where I'll be referring my clients, and you can get started. So the day of the payment, I got paid through PayPal. Has anyone experienced PayPal? So PayPal takes my money. PayPal takes my money.
Yeah, they always.
You know how? Yes. You know how in Africa?
Yeah.
I don't think PayPal trust Africans as much, so they feel you're doing scam business or can trust you, those kind of things. So they take my money. I've already quit my job, remember? I've quit my job, but the money I thought was going to cushion me for at least 3 months while the freelancing picks up is taken. And the process of following up, which of course I trolled them on Twitter for a long time and they reversed my money. But then I started doing my thing. It was nice, it was fine. So I didn't have a plan of getting employed again. I was like, let me do my thing here. Start a couple of projects, do my thing, get actually more clients. Then something happened and I realized that actually, regardless of how many things I was doing at the same time, I still had time. Because you know the time difference in the US, you're mostly likely to work at night. So during the day, Netflix marathoning for the whole day, limited series after limited series, and like it wasn't healthy and all that. So I needed something different. And now something that is close to my heart, which I've always been passionate about teaching. I think when I was in undergrad, there was we had a lot of opportunities in my school, and one of the opportunities was for you to teach while you're studying. So I used to be a tutor in school. That's how I used to make Sharia money and all that. So of course, if I get paid like, at the time, I was a lot of money, like 10 CDs per month, 10 Ghana CDs per hour, and I have like 3 hours every day. That's good money. By Friday, I'm making up. So teaching has always been something I like doing. So Moringa, I reached out to Moringa. Moringa gave me the job. Of course, we went back and forth because I was trying not to get small money. So please negotiate for yourselves, okay? Yes, you need to if you know the value that you're providing, make sure that you negotiate for it. we interviewed in January, then people joined immediately. I joined Feb ending. So I've currently finished like 1 year and 3 months since I joined Moringa. So yeah, when I joined Moringa, it was nice. But then there's an HR from Cooperative Bank that we had been talking with. They sent me an offer. I was 2 weeks into Moringa, and the offer was like 50,000 shillings more than what I get at Moringa. But then I had already interacted with students, made connections, and I was like, so you feel bad for leaving because of how things were. I already felt bad that you can't quit after 2 weeks. Like, it's not fair, especially with the HR after going back and forth. I mean, at the time, my reasons were valid. I mean, I had extra time while doing Moringa, but I also had enough time to do my freelancing, so it was just working fine. And I thought about the schedule at the bank, and I was like, nah, I'm here fully because at the time I needed to make money on the side. Then I got my first class, my second class, this is my third class, and you guys are my favorite, and I'm not saying that because you are here. Then I'd vowed that when Moringa gives me an hybrid class like this one, I was going to quit. So January is here, and they told me that the next class that's coming, you have to go there physically. Now you remember I already have other things I do on the side, so coming here, I can't sit there while someone is having a bag and do it, right? So I had already like foreseen how that is going to affect me and my schedule and all that. But at the same time, I think when we started at first, it was very nice. I think we hit it off pretty well. For the people that we fought, we haven't fought as much, right? Have we fought? Anyway, so like our interactions were good, and I felt like you guys were already. We had people like ranging from Joshua, who is recently graduated, to people that like Ronald, who have worked, like people like Kim, who have cleared campus. Like the class was diverse, but it was also very willing. Like you guys were very willing to learn and all that. So it was so motivating. Like I didn't feel like I was teaching. I felt like I was just trying to guide people who are willing to learn, and I enjoyed this one. Yeah, I think I could say a lot of things about each and every person here, but one of the things that is very clear throughout every student here is that you guys have been more than students. Like I don't think of you as, oh, this is my student. Of course, I use the student because of the professional term of it, but I feel like you guys are just junior developers getting into this industry and becoming better at what you do.